I think many of us feel a deep fear for what's to come for Muslims in France and Muslims in Europe in general.
So very concretely, the spirit of their governance is the complete criminalization of Islam and Muslims. In other words, Muslims in France, outlaws in France.
French President Emmanuel Macron has called for snap elections following his defeat in the European Parliament. France now might be governed by the far right for the first time since World War II. But what would it mean for French Muslims, who already live in one of the most Islamophobic societies in the Western world?
They want to ban hijab from public square.
We have seen them even call for a freeze on the construction of mosques.
They also want to ban architecture influenced by Islamist ideology. Mosques with a somewhat Arabic kind of style would be banned.
In 2022, the far right tried to pass a bill combating what they call Islamist ideologies. With this law, any Muslim movie, book or clothes could be outlawed and Muslims could be banned from running for elections.
What they would do is target the entire Muslim community in an unprecedented way. Citizenship being stripped more easily, people being banned from the country more easily.
A coalition of leftist parties is attempting to counter the far right. They want to recognize the state of Palestine, tackle inequalities, and fight against anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and racism. But according to most polls, they only garner around a quarter of the vote. The National Rally is expected to remain the most popular party with more than a third of the vote, meaning that France could have an ultranationalist prime minister before the Olympic Games.
We thought that indeed the far right had a strong shot at basically seizing power, but in 2027. And we thought that we had basically 3 years down the line to prepare, to organize. We realized that basically it could happen in 3 weeks.
The situation for French Muslims, who make up around 10% of the population and are the largest Muslim population in Western Europe, was already very dark. In the past few years, France has passed multiple laws restricting what Muslim women can wear, and the government has been accused of shutting down hundreds of Muslim organizations, such as schools, restaurants, mosques, sport clubs, and charities.
We are already subjected to state-led Islamophobia. No one reaches the threshold of the French state.
On March 15th, International Day to Combat Islamophobia, we, as well as a coalition of organizations operating in over 30 countries, indicated that France is among the top 4 countries that is currently promoting Islamophobia. It is the only one in the Western world. India, China, and Israel are the 3 other countries.
Experts now fear that the far-right government in France would normalize even more Islamophobia in Europe and in the rest of the world.
We knew that France was aggressively trying to influence other European nations for them to adopt some Islamophobic policies. Imagine that under a far-right government.
Ever since October 2023, we have seen Islamophobia spin out of control, not just here in the United States, not just in France, but really across the world. We saw, for example, that the French government banned pro-Palestine protests. We've even seen reports of the French government detaining or fining individuals who wear the kufiya.
It's in these dark moments that we need to make an extra effort and continue to struggle, even though we are, of course, tempted to just completely leave the country and abandon the fight. But abandoning the fight means leaving an entire community alone.